As you all probably know, it's been a barren wasteland for Nintendo really recently. There are no games on the horizon whatsoever, and we're left in the dark. What's Nintendo gonna do next? What Mario games are they gonna reveal? Are we gonna see Breath of the Wild 2? And we might not have to worry much longer. They have an investors meeting coming up early August. So from the time of this video, it's about a week and a bit. Cool! I bet you're all thinking, they have to show something by then, man. They have to show some new games to show to their investors. And to that I say, do they? Do they really? Let's discuss. So Nintendo have a few games that they could really push to their investors as being these massive deals. And the first is Bravely Default. It's a game we haven't heard much of. It got a good reveal, we got a decent amount of gameplay, and we got a demo. But since then, we've not really heard anything. We've got the release year of 2020, but nothing else. So I could easily see Nintendo being like, hey guys, we've got Bravely Default, this big RPG game. It's coming out this year and it's going to be a massive deal, just like Octopath Traveler. Except this will be fully exclusive to Nintendo and probably won't go off their consoles whatsoever, unlike Octopath. And that's one game. And the second game is No More Heroes 3, a game we've also heard very few details about, but they highlighted it at the Game Awards. Does that mean they think it's a big deal? Do Nintendo put this to a really high status and think this is a big game? I don't know, but it's probably one of the only things they can really push right now. And they're going to show that to their investors and be like, hey look guys, it's the third mainline game in the series, this really big hype series. It's coming out this year, look, we've got games, we promise. And then they've got two pieces of DLC. Firstly, they've got their Sword and Shield DLC, with one coming out in the winter, Pokemon Sword and Shield being some of the highest sold games on the Switch. It's an easy thing to push. Hey guys, we've got this DLC to this massive game coming out in winter, the Crown Tundra. Easy push right there. Second easy push, and the second piece of DLC they have, Smash Brothers. Hey guys, this game that is like one of the best sellers on the Switch and of all time, we've got more characters coming to it. This is going to hype people up for the holidays. We've got more characters coming soon. Something they could easily push right there. And yeah, it's all of this that comes together that makes me believe that we're not necessarily due for new Nintendo games. As much as I desperately want them and desperately think they should definitely have them because it'll look really impressive to our investors, they don't need to. Flat out, they don't need to because they'll be just fine with what they've got. This is why in the next Nintendo Direct that we get probably in 1,000 years, we'll probably only get a couple of games. I reckon there'll be 2 games max, and the first one will be a 2D Metroid game as being heavily rumoured, and the second one will be, of course, the 3D Mario Collection, aka a bunch of ports. And you guys have got to remember, they don't technically have to release a game every year. They could be like, you know what, Bravely Default is a 1-month game, then we'll take a break for a month, then we'll go No More Heroes 3, then we'll go Metroid, and then we'll go Mario. Done. They've got the games. And I think that sucks, obviously. Like, these Bravely Default and No More Heroes, like, I think they're niche. I don't know if that's fair to say, even if any of you agree with me. I think they're kind of niche titles that don't appeal to a majority of people. Unlike, let's say, a new Zelda, or a new Mario, or even a new Kirby. I definitely don't think they've got the same appeal whatsoever. So to leave us with that only, while it probably could work for investors maybe, I think for the fans it kind of stinks. And you've got to think about it this way, they are running out of time. They only have a few months of the year left. They've got August, September, October, November, December. They've only got 5 months. 5 months, you might think 5 big games, but like I said earlier, it could be game, no game, game, no game, game. Done. Bravely Default, No More Heroes, Mario, and Metroid, and then the DLC for Sun Shield and Smash Brothers. Like, that could easily be the year. And that's going to be really disappointing. If anything, that's going to make it worse than 2018, which I hated. I think 2018 was probably one of Nintendo's lowest years ever. I saw people saying that 2015 was bad. What? Are we both living on the same planet? In the same timeline? 2015 had Splatoon, one of the biggest Nintendo franchises ever made, and it's brand new. Mario Maker, one of the most influential Nintendo games of all time. Xenoblade X, one of the biggest open world games of all time. And then we had a Yoshi's Woolly World, which obviously isn't on the same level as those, but was still a pretty good game and a really good time. And that's the worst year, really? that's worse than a year that was entirely dedicated to Super Smash Brothers? Like, I would definitely argue that 2015 was so much better than 2018, but that's a tangent, that's another video for another time. What I'm trying to say here is, while I agree with all Nintendo fans, I want games, I think we need games, I think it makes Nintendo look better, and they're a company solely made to make games. I don't necessarily think that it's going to happen, and I'm flat out saying right now, I don't think it will happen. I think we will get kind of screwed, and we'll be getting what we already know and the 3D Mario Collection. That is my main predictions right there. Whether we get the next Nintendo Direct or not, I don't think it'll be this massive first-party game blowout as people believe it would be. They're not going to announce like 5 first-party games when there's only 5 months left of the year. They're going to save everything for 2021, just like I feel like, in my opinion, they did for Animal Crossing. So final verdicts are that Nintendo are running out of time if they want to reveal new games. If they wait all the way till September for a Nintendo Direct, then we're definitely screwed and we're not going to get much new games. I think Nintendo are going to heavily rely on Bravely Default and No More Heroes 3. And then I think the big holiday game, which I do not want, I hate this idea, will be the 3D Mario Game Collection, a bunch of ports. I do not like that. No matter what game it is, I do not like Nintendo relying on ports or a simple remaster as massive releases. They should have stuff in between that. And as I said in a previous video, if they're going to use that 3D Mario Collection to compete against the Xbox Series X and the PS4, that is not good. Like, because it's Mario, and it's because it's legacy games, and it's because it's games that people already know are fantastic, I think advertisement-wise, it would work just because it's Super Mario and he's such a massive name, and it is mainline games, but yikes. Also, I need to add this real quick, 3D World is getting a port this year, and that will be another one of their big games, is a port of 3D World. So that just adds to the argument that they're not going to reveal these massive first-party games, and I don't even necessarily think they'll show Breath of the Wild. It would be fantastic if they did. I fucking want that more than anyone in the whole world. I don't think it's necessarily meant to be. I don't think it necessarily has to happen. I reckon they're going to save that for next year, 2021. And to that, I just say, wow. This goes into a bigger issue of mine, but I think there's a major development issue with the Nintendo Switch and how Nintendo develops their games. I feel like they take awfully long compared to what we had before. And the example I used earlier for this was Mario Kart 8, where we had a new Mario Kart game every 3 years, but then 3 years after Mario Kart 8, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which, fine, I can give them a pass for that, because they did add DLC to the original Mario Kart 8, which is extra development time, okay, and they added a battle mode to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, okay. Now we're in the year 2020, and we don't have a Mario Kart. Whether that's due to the pandemic or not, we'll have to wait and see, because if it gets announced next year, then it's very possible that it could have been the pandemic, and then that explains that reason right there. But like Breath of the Wild 2, for example, was in development before the pandemic, and if they're going to reuse the same engine for Breath of the Wild, I don't understand why it would take 4 years. Anyways, that's my verdicts. What do you guys think? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below. I want disagreements. I want discussion. I say it every time, but having everyone just saying the same shit is not fun. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm worried. I don't think I'm going to get game reveals. That's really sad to me, but you know what? What can you do? P.S. Play Paper Mario the Origami King. Okay, bye guys. Catch you in the next video.